So our next step is to use the jelly press, and that's what I use to make these backgrounds so far. And this is just the one layer of paint down. But I want to show you some things. So the one thing, because these are colored papers, it makes a difference. You see the paper through your paint. And so there's different things you can choose, right? And different combinations. And so say when you're working on a dark paper, like this one is a darker brown, you want to use some lighter colors for it to pop a bit more. Here's another dark blue, and so there I use those lighter, and so you get those colors popping out. And still in a lot of them you can see some of the stamping still, even though we have that layer of paint on. So that's why I did that. It will just add some texture as we move forward. Even there you can see. So this was a white sheet, so I did a lighter thing. And again, we had a dark sheet, so I did some lighter colors. This was a purple sheet, and so I did pinks and purples on it to make it more monotone, whereas I used the same colors, say, on blue, and you can see the difference. This sheet here, I just want to show you, for some reason, it reminds me of jellyfish. So you never know what you're going to come up with. There's all different combinations. Even here, some orange with some greens. So we're going to do some printing. I just wanted to show you the sheets. Here's another. It was a really dark blue, but you can see how pretty those colors look on there. And again, this is just layer one, step one. So I'm going to just quickly gather these up, and I'm going to give you some tips. Now, of course, I'm using the origami papers for this, but all these techniques can be used with any type of paper. If I use a lot of printer paper or a thin cardstock. I don't use a lot of thick cardstock unless I plan on making cards with it, because I find it too thick for my processes. So here is my gel press. I always leave whatever's there. I never clean it off because that goodness will come up on some other pulls and make some interesting things. So when I'm doing the base color, I like to use Liquitex Basics because you get a lot of paint for your money. And because I'm using a lot more paint than I do for some other things I do. So this first color is medium magenta. I also like to use two colors. I don't want too much paint for the first layer. So I have medium magenta, and this is a crimson. Then I take my brayer, and I'll just keep using the same brayer. Acrylic paint, once it dries, it doesn't transfer. Like on your brayer, that the color won't transfer. So I want to cover my whole gel press plate. Now this plate I'm using is one from Ranger that Dina and Diane put out, but you can use any gel press plate. This just happens to be the one I have. So it's larger than I need because I'm using 6x6 sheets. So I have this one sheet here. I had a little bit of stamping. So because this paint on here is thick, we're going to get a nice thick part. Now we just have a little visitor right now from Albie. He always likes to craft, but we're going to push him off the table. Okay. Now the thing I find with the origami paper is when I pull it up, it curls, especially with the first one because it's really wet paint. But the more paint you put on, the flatter it gets. So you just have to be aware it's going to curl, and so I'm just going to place it aside like that. So because I took some off there, I just use my brayer and sort of fill it back in. That's the thing. If you have a 6x6 gel press plate, it works great. Oh, the crafter is back again. That little guy. He likes to get his little paws in the paint. So there it is on a darker paper. You can see over here the difference. You have like the blue to the green and how it affects the color. I have a lighter one this time. Do the other corner. And you just keep laying them on. This is why it's great. Like this sheet, this pack came with like 100 sheets. And you can really work your way through them. You don't do gel press and decide you're going to like do 2 sheets. This is like, you're committed. And again, as I said, I'm using origami paper, but I also like to use like doilies or tissue paper or newsprint paper. So because we've done a few, you see it's getting less and less. And that's where this didn't have any stamping on it, but it's where the stamping comes in handy. Let me get one with, here's a sheet that had a lot of stamping. Because you never really know what you're going to pull off. And that's what I love about working with the gel press. Like, even though we got a lot of paint, you can still see all that stamping through there. It's so pretty. I'm going to do a couple more, and then we're I'm going to show you one more step. So here I know that this is drying. So I'm just trying to get some of that excess. I'm going to just do this side and I'll show you. So I love it even when it's just like that. But as I said before, I mean, you could always use it like this, but I plan on doing more. Now, when I have it sort of like this and a lot of the paints come off, I like to bring it in neutral, either unbleached titanium or like a titanium white. And I put some down. And I roll it so it's covering the entire press, gel press. And then this is when I might go in, we'll try with a darker sheet. And it should pick up some of that pink that was underneath it. So it's mixed in with the titanium and the pink. So if you have some darker sheets, it's a great way to lighten it up. I have this dark red. Let's see what happens. And if you don't like what you get, you'll just put more on top of it. So there it is on the red. And because this, it's so thin that it dries so quickly, I can just layer my sheets on top of one another. Here is another dark one. Ooh, that's cool too. And I'll try this dark one. And I'm just trying to pick up as much paint as I can before moving to a new color. And if I want that half, I just do this. That looks cool too. And I'm just going to get something for this corner here. I've got a brown sheet. See if I can get anything else off. So they're just making a few markings. So you should get some ideas there. So as I said, this is the base. We're going to do more printing on top of this printing, but you can see how it's great on the different color of papers having in your background and how the paints work with the different colors, with stamping, without stamping. It's all just fun and experimenting with color and seeing what you get. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give our video a thumbs up and subscribe to Scrap Time Videos on YouTube. In the meantime, here are a couple other videos you might be interested in watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.